It's knocking. That's not good. This is usually fairly frightening. I'm gonna make something great. That's my way. Hey, how's it going? I'm back and I have an engine. A guy named Joe on Facebook hit me up and I grabbed it off him. It's actually a ZE. He originally told me I was getting a DE, but with how things worked out, he said he actually didn't trust the DE, so he's giving me the ZE for the exact price and transmission. So that is super sick of Joe. Thank you so much, buddy. And here she is. This is a KLZE. Okay, so this basically got pulled out of a car with the actual cooling system on it, so it's probably full of fluid still. So I'm gonna have to get it off and then drain it into something. I'm gonna take the headers off, the valve covers off, the timing cover off, do the timing. I'm gonna replace the crank pulley. I'm going to take the transmission off. I'm gonna have to put the transmission in a spot away so I can get my transmission on it that has the LSD in it, and then just basically put all my pieces from all this mess onto here, but I'll get back to that after my laps. All right, just getting the engine and transmission out of the back of my truck. Now draining the coolant out of the engine, taking off the headers, tranny, taking off the flywheel. It's actually an aluminum flywheel, which is worth actually like $500. So just in that piece, I've already made my money back. So basically, I've got to take everything off: the timing, the crank pulley, intake, distributor, valve covers, everything. It all needs resealed, and at minimum, things need replaced as well. So I'm going to be putting my intake on, my valve covers on with new gaskets, my oil pan that has a bung in it for my turbo. Lots of work needs done. So basically just got to start ripping things off, cleaning things, and then installing the new pieces. I even removed all my coolant hoses and coolant solid lines from my engine that I was currently running and moved them all over to this new one because I knew they did not leak. So then I didn't have to second guess anything. And then I've also added my turbo feed line that goes into the block. Lots of stuff. I cleaned up and bent back my oil pan. It was all bent up from the old rod hitting the side of it and bending it all to crap. But yeah, got it all straightened up, gooped up with the RTV, and installed it back onto the new engine. All cleaned up too. That's really important to make sure your oil pan is clean when you put it onto a new engine, because if you're bringing it off of a blown up engine that had metal pieces all over the place, you can't bring that to the new one, or you're probably going to run into the same problem. Doing a nice little black paint job like I usually do. Now my headers are going on. I always keep my collectors attached because they don't really need to be taken apart, because if you are careful enough, you can get both sides mounted up to the heads, and with the gaskets in and everything. Obviously I use new gaskets and everything bolts up nice, so it just saves 2 gaskets that you have to replace every single time. Tranny's on, distributors on, ignition wires are on. Pretty close to throwing it into the car now. I always jack the front of the car or back of the car, whatever engine I'm putting it in, up as high as I can, and then I squeeze everything underneath the front frame there. Eventually I'd like to tubular front end my car so there's a little bit more room. It's very tight bringing in the engine. You basically have to have everything perfectly level and centered with the hole in the engine bay to get it in without scratching anything, which is kind of a pain. But yeah, I'd like to tubular front end it sometime and then have everything even quicker to remove things and install things. It would also make the car look quite nice. So yeah, she's basically in now. So I just got to tighten out the mounts for the engine, tranny, and we're pretty much good to go. Would you look at that? Just look at it. Just look at it. The engine is in. I am freaking stoked. It did not take me very long. It's basically a day job to do this. I'm almost on the way to turning the key and starting this. All I've got to do is put the axles in, intake on, fuel lines, wiring, wheels, hood, fender, bumper. I'm getting there. I'm really getting there. I need to put oil in it and just all the little stuff that actually doesn't take very long if you just stay at it. So I got my water out here. So all you need to survive really is water. So I'm just gonna send it and get this thing done. Now all I've got to do is put the intake on, wiring, fuel system, and I'm pretty much good for starting it. But in this case, I threw on all the body panels and everything first because I knew everything was going to work out perfectly. Was I right? No. Couple last things, getting the axles in and lower ball joints on, and we're good to go. I always take off the lower ball joints instead of removing the strut or anything, because then that alters your alignment. With just removing the lower ball joint, it won't adjust your alignment at all, so and then everything's back where you had it originally. All right, she's back together. Got the engine in. It is a KLZE. I don't know if I've said that yet, but it is a KLZE engine. The previous one was a DE. The difference between the two is the ZE has higher compression and the DE has smaller cams as well. So with the ZE, I'm getting higher compression and longer duration cams. She's in. Let's just get to it. Let's see if it starts. I had so much confidence. I put all the body panels back on because I've had enough bad luck that I knew that this would be my good luck charm today. That engine is my good luck charm. I'm just gonna start it up. Let's do it. Ignition on. Fuel pump, start. Oh wow, started right up. Woo! Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. She fired right up, she's idling, and I couldn't be any happier. I've got a lot of things to go over. I don't want to blow up another one, so I've got to triple check everything. I have a fresh oil in there, but I'd like to drain it after getting it up to temp a few times to get it all cleaned up, because the engine's been sitting for at least 2 years, and this is a JDM engine. So it was in Japan way back in its day, and basically in Japan they ship them out after the cars get 50K, and they ship them to Canada or US, and people like me can use them, and they've got low mileage because that's just the way their emissions are. So I'm looked out there. This engine has about 50K on it and it's running great. Look who's awakened from the dead. No. So here she is. For some reason my turbo's not spinning. It usually does at idle. I don't know if there's crap in there or what. I'm just gonna be completely honest. It could be blown. Once I actually blew up this engine, or not this engine, that engine, I ordered a new turb ski just in case, so I'm not sure what's gonna happen, but I'm thinking it'll be okay. Just need some fresh oil and get back into the game after a real shit kicking. Everything seemed fine. There was no shaft play. There wasn't really anything wrong with it other than just some scratches on the turbine. So it's knocking. That's not good. I think it just spun a rod. Yeah, so pretty much I'm not looking so good right now. That could have been a lot of time wasted and $250 out of my money. So hopefully I can fix it. If it's a rod, I can take a head off, pop it through, put a new rod on. I've got maybe 1 or 2 rods in that engine that I destroyed the other day, but I think it's fixable. Everything's fixable. You gotta smile. Even when you're having the worst time, you just gotta smile and have fun and learn and enjoy your life. All right, we'll see you in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you later. This is usually fairly frightening.